smallholder food producers the world over. And if they could solve this one problem, we could bring local food into the hands of millions. Good morning. I'm Dr. Michelle Pfannenstiel, and this is Alia Howard, and we are bringing you the Smallholder Food Business Development Institute. I have built a $500,000 consulting company helping my clients solve their customer problems. And today, we bring you the solution for the one problem that our clients have: space. The space that's available is substandard. It's far away. It cannot pass a food safety audit, either by the USDA, by the FDA, or by any of the third-party standards that our clients need to pass in order to actually sell their food in the marketplace.
So we're bringing to you the Locker. It's a food processing unit that's fully customizable and modular. We're targeting it at small-scale food businesses who want a safe space for food processing but don't want to pay the cost of a build-out to their own facility, which can be up to 10 times more expensive than the Locker would be. The Locker is fully cleanable and inspectable, which dramatically reduces any food processing risks and any chances of a recall, which is the leading reason for food businesses to go out of business. With the Locker, we're enabling a more sustainable and more profitable system as more food can be produced, more can be processed more efficiently at a lower cost.
So now if we had a video behind us, you would see a video of one of our lockers. It's a unit that can go onto a farm, in place, fully functional in 12 weeks for around $300,000. It's an order of magnitude less expense and allows profitability in the first year of production of value-added foods. We sell these as upcycled shipping containers. They have an R18 value, allowing them to be super efficient in cooling because they come over as transoceanic shipping containers. These units go on farm, they go into ex-urban industrial spaces, and all you need is electricity, water, and sewage. And it comes with a year's worth of the business consulting that my consultancy brings around food safety, marketing, employee engagement problems, and life coaching. Because the most problems we have with entrepreneurs is all actually up here. We believe that there is a target market across the United States of close to 13,000 units. This is based on the number of USDA production facilities, the need for food processing space, the need for ready-to-eat food space as the preventive controls rule comes into play. Here in Maine, we believe we have 50 to 75 units that could be placed on farms or in ex-urban industrial parks like the one up in Gardner. And this is based, again, on the need for food processing space, especially in the fisheries industry, where there is a paucity of cleanable, inspectable space where we can decommoditize our food production. We have units already available in the Cayman Islands. They're using it for meat processing production. And we're going to have a unit available to see in Bristol, Maine, in the mid-coast in time for Christmas production so they can get their pork into the local markets. Our ask today, we are looking for an investor who will help me spin this off into a repeatable, scalable business so that we can take this throughout the region, nationally and internationally, because food security is national security. And when we feed ourselves and do our own value-added production, we keep our money here in our region, and we can defend our own selves against the closing of 95 and other countries that would seek to take away our national sovereignty. I invite your questions.
So I'm going to go first this time. So thanks so much. That's an excellent presentation, and thanks for the moment of silence as well on this important day. I'd love to just learn a little bit more about your backgrounds. To sort of lead us in business, I'd love to just know about your backgrounds that you brought to this business.
Sure. So I'm a service-connected veteran. I So I am actually both kinds of vet. I'm a vet squared. And I actually created this business when Raz Caldwell came up to me at the Ag Trade Show and said, hey, I hear you can write a asset plan. I was like, yep. He's like, can I pay you to write an asset plan? Yep. And thus my business was born. We've been 100% customer funded since our inception. I help people write HACCP plans, preventive controls plans, and these are the food safety systems they need to be competitive in the marketplace. And this is what I did in the service. I basically made a consulting company out of my job in MedCom, inspecting food. The U.S. Veterinary Corps is the Department of Defense executive agent for food safety. So anytime anybody in a Department of Defense capacity eats food, it has gone through the eyes of one or more people in the Veterinary Corps. And so that's what we're doing. And
I'm actually interning for her, so I'm from the UK and I'm, heard your accent, and I'm like learning about the application of science to food safety and more of the, like, learning about the documentation and the public health sides of it.
That's great. Can you just speak a little bit about the engineering piece of this? Do you
Sure.
have balance?
Sure. So these are upcycled shipping containers. Okay, so they're transoceanic shipping containers where the reefer units are busted because these things don't last forever, right? So we take the reefer units off, and then they come up to SnapSpace in Brewer, and so this is a Maine-made product where they fabricate them to food safety standards. Okay, and so we are working on making them to CE standards so that we can sell them in Europe. And we redo the inside so that it's cleanable. We're mainly targeting the ready-to-eat food, so listeria is a very big deal. And adding in the appropriate plumbing for hand washing and ware washing and mop sinks and things like that. It does not have to run on three-phase power. It can be wired to run on three-phase power, but it doesn't because that last mile of three-phase power is super expensive. And so we really work to customize these for what people need for their build-out.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Michelle, what happens inside the container?
So the container, what you do is we are patent actually. So we are undergoing the patent protection process. You start with your raw food, okay, and raw food we consider dirty, and it's where we allow for production of raw food and fabrication into finished food. So if you need to grind meat, if you need to create cheese, if you want to make ice cream, so you start with your raw products over here, and you process them and package them into finished products over here. And that hygienic zoning where we keep the raw separated from the finished goods is actually incredibly important for food safety and passing food safety audits.
Okay, so it's food prep and cooking?
It's food processing. So yeah, so it's called value-added processing out in the marketplace. And so it's taking tomatoes and making salsa. It's taking lamb and making merguez. It's taking flour and making bread. So they can be outfitted with smokers and combi ovens, and the refrigeration is such that you can meet the cooling standards, because it's incredibly important to meet cooling standards for value-added food production, or else we give everybody Clostridium perfringens, which is suboptimal. Good morning, Magdalene.
How are you?
I'm good.
Full disclosure, we met before. Two or three things. One, I wanted to clarify the number. Earlier you said 12 weeks and $300,000.
Yes.
That's for a fully operating.
A fully operating unit. So if somebody pays me a deposit today, I can have the unit you can't see behind me on their piece of land in 12 weeks, hook-upable, inspectable, and ready to go into production.
And that number is about tenfold higher than what you were describing in the two chess places. I thought it was 30,000 and 40,000. I didn't write that.
Those are the dollar values.
Oh,
So an individual unit is $100,000 and can be put on a facility in 12 weeks, okay? And we estimate there's like a 13,000 units that could go across the country, so that's a $1.3 billion business. And then the units take 12 12 weeks to fabricate, and then we transport them there.
So a lot of the folks that I've dealt with over the years are pre-USDA facilities.
Mhm.
So your assumption is that these are companies that have a business or have revenues,
Yes.
are ready to expand. So these are not startups. These are moving from startup to, the mainstay, as it were.
Yeah.
So there's some level of that. And also, is it, have you estimated what kind of revenues these farms, companies, depending on what we call them, would have to do to justify this expenditure?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we have business modeling projections for them that allows them to be profitable in year one and pay a living wage in food production, which we all know is a huge problem here in Maine that our food produces across the country. But yeah, no, the idea, these are leasable systems. We work with KeyBank for leasing. CEI is looking to fund some. And it allows for profitability in year one because we teach people how to do profit-first accounting, where we're profitable from day one.
What level of revenues would you guess they would need to be at?
This is targeted at people who are already in their retail food and doing around $250,000 in their retail food. So they're scaling out of a place like Fork Food Lab, or they're already processing at one of our 6 USDA processors and are looking to bring that quality and safety control in-house.
Got it.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you if you could comment on your patent position, where you are in that process, and then competitors.
Sure. Okay, so the patent was filed 2 years ago, so we did the first year, and then we are in provisional patenting, and I'm expecting to hear back with the final patent in 6 months.
Have you had the patent assessment, do you have a review of the
Yes,
claims?
yeah, so that's all with the PTO. We passed the initial assessment, and that's with the lawyers.
And the competitors, who else is there?
So the competitive space is one doing nothing. That's our biggest competitive space. The second competition is going to a co-packer, and this is appropriate for people who want to do their own production instead of doing their marketing. So that's kind of the choice that you make when you go to build your own facility or go to a co-packer. Okay, so co-packing is probably the next biggest competition. And then the other competition is already existing space. The problem is that the already existing space is completely substandard. This year on the working waterfront, there were 2 spaces available for fish production, both of which needed $100,000 of work on a triple net lease and a 5-year rent plan, which means that in 5 years and $100,000, you would walk away from that. And we're talking about places that have actual drainage directly into Casco Bay. That is neither inspectable nor auditable, nor should we be looking to decommoditize our fisheries industry by going into such substandard food production. And most places don't have $100,000 to walk away from. And after $100,000, you on a lease to own with key, you own this thing. You can do whatever you want with it.
Sensitive resale value, has that been modeled?
There is, so one of the reasons, one of the issues with financing is the secondary market is just frankly not there. These are already on a secondary market, so that would then be a tertiary market. And these things are so new that there really is no secondary market established. But we feel, based on, there are secondary markets for modular slaughter facilities, and these retain value fairly well. There's a reasonably comparable modular slaughter facility that was built for $250,000 in 2013 and is currently on the market for $235,000. So, in 5 years, that's pretty good.
First set of questions is more related to the actual locker unit.
Sure.
How are updates handled, maintenance? Because obviously things are going to break and need repair over time. How does that handle?
Sure. So most of what breaks is the individual equipment, and the people who buy the locker own their own equipment. Okay, so that's on them, on maintaining their ovens or even down to sharpening their knives and using their knife sanitizer. And then the unit itself and the plumbing and the sort of inputs and things like that. We have insurance that if something goes wrong, we call a plumber and we go fix it. and so it's all written into the contract.
And kind of related back to the previous question from Jen, what is the anticipated lifespan of unit? Is it for
20 years.
20? And then switching gears, could you talk a little bit about your marketing plan?
Sure. So our marketing plan so far has been through social media and social media engagement, and going to and speaking at local food production conferences. So I'm a subject matter expert in local food, and I get up and I talk about HACCP, and I have a booth, and they come by, and everybody who looks at this is like, oh my God, I want one. And so then I have a well-honed keep in touch strategy and relationship marketing system that I do, and just keeping in touch with people and really delivering value beforehand. Because of course, marketing doesn't get you clients. Marketing brings awareness. It's what you do between when they become aware of you and you make the sale that brings you clients. And that's how we approach it.
Quick question, what you mentioned an investor, where are you in that investment ask? How much do you need to get to where you hope to be?
So I would like to speak with investors who are skilled at taking a widget, if you will, like something that goes into this food production space and goes into the specialty foods market, which is a $230 billion industry. And so I'm looking for those kinds of investors. And I'm dead serious. I decided I wanted to do this strategy yesterday. While I was thinking about this and thinking about my own thoughts around this, I think that to meet the mission of the business, okay, which is sustainable, profitable food businesses the world over, I need investment partners and I need people who know how to do the logistics and the planning and the engineering to create this as a worldwide system. I'm trained as a monkey veterinarian. They didn't cover that in vet school.
And I never put it that way.
Yeah, you really?
In this round of investment, do you hope to continue controlling ownership of the business?
I think that controlling ownership of the business would be incredibly important because we could register it as a service-connected, women-owned veterans business in a hub zone, okay, which means then we could go after government contracts for feeding people in disaster areas. And so I have a set aside. And so controlling the business is, and having the operating agreement that controls the business is supremely important to establishing that foothold.
So I may have missed this, but could you just recap where you are in the development of this? Like you already have your consulting business, so you're going to be building this sort of as a layer on top of your existing consulting business.
Right.
Where are you in terms of the design of these units, manufacturer of?
Sure. So we have placed a unit in the Cayman Islands with the Department of Agriculture. We have the prototype that's going on to a farm in the Mid-Coast in Bristol, Maine. Okay, and then I am every week taking calls from people who are like, I want one. And we're just, in that marketing process waiting for them to convert. But I could take an order today and have it on farm in 10 weeks, or 12 weeks, sorry.
The one in the Caymans has been operating for how long?
A year.
Okay. What kind of experience have you had from that, operating that one unit in the Caymans?
Well, getting it down to the Caymans was a little bit challenging. So that was a lot of fun. They ship as ISO containers, and then getting it up and running, but they were able to put it together and they're using it for meat production. And the one that's going into, I'm a little more closely associated with one that's going into Bristol. And right now we're solving the problem of venting the smoker, which we're going to have solved in like the next 2 or 3 days because.
Just one. Can you run this off the grid?
Yeah, so it's got
with a generator.
With a generator, yeah. So we have, like waiting in the wings. I'm glad you brought that up because waiting in the wings, there is not only an issue about power generation, but about water. And we can expand this and we can put UV water filtration for potable water delivery to this unit, as well as to maybe other places that might need potable water where these would go. And then you put a generator into a unit right next to it. And so that whole thing, depending on how many actual production units you want, it would take, well, I keep pointing behind you, but it's not there. It would take a multi-unit one running off one generator and one UV filtration system, and it would up the price from $330 to about $450.
So I think we're almost at time. Are there any other burning questions from the judges?
I have one other question. Just in terms of the business model aspect, you sell the unit and then there's a service contract or insurance that only can be bought from you. What are the sort of other revenue streams or continuing sources?
So I have the Smallholder Food Business Development Institute Power Group, which is a group coaching concept where they can enroll in that group coaching concept. It's $297 a month, and they get that for free as part of their first year. Okay, but then if they want to stay connected to me, they have to enroll in that to be able to do that. We offer, and that all has a whole bunch of continuing education. I offer online food safety courses and things like that that brings all of that in.
Thank you for a great presentation. I just have one comment for you. I'll connect upwards, but you might want to think about franchising this. I think.
I am in